Hey friends, welcome back. So today I am doing a requested video and I'm going to be doing a full face of Dollar Tree makeup. I'm really excited to do this video with you guys today, and this is going to be a first impression video. All the things that I bought was right at $20, and if you've never been to Dollar Tree before, all of their items in store are $1.25. I'm also going to do a wear test in this video so we can see how the products wear, because even if some of these look good with me first applying them, the real test is to see how they wear. Also, one of my good friends, she helped me pick out this makeup today, so we're just gonna go ahead and dive in, and the first thing is this Be Pure Clean Beauty Glow Foundation. I got two different shades. I really just don't think this nude is gonna work for me at all. I don't even know why I got that. So this is in the shade Porcelain. Oh, and I found, or my friend, she found these little finger makeup sponges, which seemed super interesting. I went ahead and washed one and got it damp. It just says the directions on here: wet sponge with water and squeeze out excess to soften and expand sponge. Bounce sponge across the face to blend makeup. And I just thought this was such a cute little concept. So I'm gonna try to use this today to apply the foundation. And I do think that this shade in Porcelain should be a decent match for me. So there it is there. And I'm just gonna dot this around my face first. I also did my skincare off camera, so I will have what I use listed down in the description box. Let's see how this little thing works. So I almost have to keep my other two fingers around it. I mean, but it definitely feels like a really soft makeup sponge. Like, it's not too dense. Like, it feels just as soft as like my Pawpaw makeup sponge or Wet n Wild makeup sponge. Okay, like this foundation does feel hydrating. I would say it's like a light medium coverage. Okay, yeah, this little finger sponge is blending things out pretty good. I mean, this is actually like a pretty cool little concept. I would say like the main thing when it comes to like finding like a good foundation or concealer shade at the Dollar Tree is like their shade ranges are very limited. And at least from what I've been able to tell from going to different Dollar Generals and looking at their, or not Dollar General, Makeup Tree, Dollar Tree, that would be a good idea. Well, that really wouldn't make sense, Makeup Tree. It's a tree that grows makeup on it. But it seems like their shade range normally is like in the medium category. Okay, so I mean, that blended out pretty well, and it has a nice, just kind of luminous, lumi matte kind of finish to it. Like, it looks similar to the e.l.f. Soft Glam or like my Wet n Wild Tinted Hydrator on the finish. I think that shade matches me okay. So, I mean, that's not bad. I don't know how it's going to wear throughout the day. And it is more of like a light coverage. So the next thing that I picked up is the Be Pure Essentially Ageless Hydrating Serum Concealer. I took it out of the packaging, but let's put it back in here so you can see what it would look like if you were to get it at the Dollar Tree. So it just comes in a package like this. And the shade that I got in this is in Fair. And it says that it's paraben and phthalate free. Discover the Essentially Ageless collection exclusively formulated for mature skin. Infused with serums, natural oils, and vitamins, Essentially Ageless provides long-lasting hydration. Yeah, and I would say that that foundation that I used from Be Pure feels hydrating on the skin. So it just comes with like a wand. This is darker than what I would picture like Fair being. So I'm just gonna put a little bit there. I probably should have dotted this. Like, I normally like my concealers kind of dotted. So we're just going in with that little sponge. Turn my mirror around here so I can see the magnifying side. Okay, yeah, this is more of a lighter coverage concealer. It does have like a luminous finish to it. And I'm going to add just a little bit more of this concealer, like right below my under eyes. This is just kind of like my trick if I want to do some added coverage, but I don't want to add extra product to the under eye area. Okay, and then I'm going to add just a little bit more concealer to areas where I want a little bit more coverage. So just like around my mouth here. And both this concealer and the foundation, it doesn't have any scents. It's fragrance free. So that's nice. Like it doesn't smell like a chemical or it's not perfumey. Okay, I feel like the foundation has gotten even a little bit more dewy, but the concealer looks really nice and hydrating. Like I said, it's not super full coverage or anything like that, more of a lighter coverage concealer. I think that shade actually matches pretty good. I did not find a setting powder that matched me at Dollar Tree, so I'm just gonna lightly use another setting powder that I have. So I'm just gonna go in with like my Rimmel Stay Matte. So I guess this is slightly cheating because I don't have a powder from there. But yeah, they just did not have a shade that matched me. So I'm just going in, like I said, with the Rimmel Stay Matte and just lightly using that to set this foundation and concealer. Also, it is kind of surprising, but I feel like that foundation actually looks a bit lighter on the skin than it did swatched. You know what I'm saying? Like I feel like it matches me really well. I did get two different brow products from the Dollar Tree. I got the brow pencil from LA Colors. I got the shade black. This is what my friend picked out for me, like color wise. This might be too black. Maybe should have gotten like dark brown. So I also picked up this micro filling brow tattoo. I thought that this looked super interesting. So they had this little display from Ioni, I think that's how you pronounce it. And it was like Chinese New Year things, which I thought looked really cute. I picked up this brow like microblading thingy that's got like the little, it's like one of those pens that's got like the little prongs on it. So I think I'm gonna use this. I took it out of the packaging to swatch it, but the cream blush here from that same little collection. And this was actually really pretty, like swatched. It's got like a little cap to keep it from drying out. I'll swatch that blush on the back of my hand. But I think I'm going to use this blush. I got a few different blushes. See, like, look at that. This can be used as a cheek and lip color. So it's a really pretty red. And like if you blend it out, looks like this. So I think that that product might actually be really good. I mean, I don't know how, you know, accessible this is in all the Dollar Trees, but this is the Lunar Zodiac collection. I think this is a cute little find. So I'll be using that here in a minute, but let's go ahead and open up this brow pen. Okay, so this is what the pen looks like. Not exactly like the picture there. And I'll just swatch this. So that's what the color looks like there. Okay, I'm gonna use this e.l.f. brow lift, the little spoolie on this side, brush my brow hairs up. I didn't see a brow gel there, so, and I normally would use a brow gel to set my eyebrows. So I think I am gonna use like my Maybelline Super Lock just because they didn't have a brow gel. I'm just gonna brush my brow hairs up. Seems like it's transferring well. Okay, yeah, I really like that. Okay, yeah, I mean, this seems like it's working really well. I mean, I feel like that looks good. What do you guys think? And like I said, I feel like the applicator is not too flimsy. Now, I don't know like how, you know, if this is going to get dried out over time or anything, but just like initial like using it, that was really simple and it looks nice. So I feel like that's a win. I mean, so like so far everything that I've used, I'm using like a makeup remover wipe on that, and it's kind of hard to remove. So, okay, yeah, that seems like that might actually be a really good eyebrow pencil. Or pen, I should say. And I am going to use an eyeshadow primer. Maybe this is cheating, I don't know, but it's just like if I was to use any other like eyeshadow from high-end drugstore, like whatever, I would use the Milani eyeshadow primer. So just the same as like I would use a brow gel. But see, like this is the thing. It's like I want to show that, you know, you can kind of splurge on some things that you can't find at places like this. You know, an eyeshadow primer is going to last you for a really long time, and it can help to improve maybe some shadows that wouldn't be as pigmented or last as long without it. So I picked up 2 separate eyeshadow palettes. I've got this one here in Fling. These are both LA colors, and the other one is in Night Out, which is more warm tone. So we've got more of like a cool tones, colorful kind of palettes, and then more of like warm toned. So let's go ahead and bust into these. And my friend, she picked out this one in Fling for me to use. So I might use like a shade or 2 out of this. We'll kind of like use shades out of both of these palettes. Okay, so here's those shades swatched. Like actually the blue and green has pretty good pigmentation. Like this shade down here is like the gold. You can barely see it. I think it's just kind of blended into my skin tone. Then you've got like the purples. The light pink or kind of cream color in that palette actually looks pretty good. So doesn't seem super terrible. So we've got that palette swatched. Okay, so like the shimmery colors in that palette have a little bit more pigmentation than like the matte shades in the Night Out palette. Just kind of put up here so you guys can see. So I mean, they're not like the most pigmented eyeshadows, or at least it doesn't seem in the swatches. So we'll see how these blend out on the eyelid. So first I'm going to go in with the Night Out palette, and I'm just using the blending brush that came out of my Amazon brush set that I use all the time. And I'm going to first go in with this shade here in the Night Out palette. And I'm just going to blend that here in the crease. Okay, yeah, like that actually has good pigmentation. Not getting like a ton of kick up in the like in the little eyeshadow pan, like as you can see there. Just like a little bit maybe. Okay, that seemed like that blended out really easily. I mean, like neither one of these palettes have super dark shades in them, so it probably would be hard to get like a contrasted look with like a darker outer V. But I think you could get just like a basic everyday kind of look, especially out of this palette, just a nice warm toned eyeshadow look. Okay, I'm taking the Sigma Pencil E30 and I'm getting some more of that same shade on the tip of this brush, and I'm running this here on the lower lash line. Okay, and for my brow bone highlight, I'm going to actually go in with this other palette in Fling. So yeah, this is what those palettes look like outside of the packaging, so you can see them. I'm going to use the white, the light kind of cream shade in this palette. And I'm just going to take the little sponge. It's actually kind of like a pinkish color, like a light pink. And I'm just going to use that as the brow bone highlight. It's actually got decent pigmentation. Now this shade does have a bit more like powdery kick up in the pan there. I don't know if you can see it. Going back with that blending brush, nothing added to it. Okay, and in the outer V, I'm gonna try to use this purpley shade, which this does have, like it's kind of got like a satin finish to it. So I'm just getting that shade on the Sigma E25 blending. And I'm just gonna blend this here in the outer V. Okay, that seems like that's blending out well. I mean, it's not like super dark, but I think that creates enough contrast there in the outer V. At least for me. I mean, if you were like a really deep skin toned, it might not really show up a ton, like be that contrasted. It's like creating like a really pretty like sunset eyeshadow. And then I'm gonna take some more of this purple on the Sigma Pencil E30, and I'm just gonna run it right out here. Okay, yeah, I mean, like these eyeshadows are not bad. I mean, like they're not like the most intensely pigmented eyeshadows ever, but they seem like they're blending out okay. And I mean, I don't know, like maybe that eyeshadow primer is helping them a little bit, but I just wanted to be like realistic with this makeup look and use things that I would actually use with products. I did get some fallout there underneath my eye with that dark purple shade. So it probably would be best to, you know, apply the eyeshadow before doing the foundation. I am going to go back with some more of that shade there that I used in the crease. And I'm just going to brush that at the top. Just go around the edges, make sure things are blended. I'm going to add some more concealer right here where I had some fallout. Just because I feel like that kind of darkened my under eye right out here. So let's add a little bit more to kind of lighten and brighten. Normally I would not do this over top of powder, but I didn't really add that much powder to the under eye area, so I'm sure it's probably okay. I was debating on what shade I want to use on the eyelid. Like I'm thinking either this shade or that shade, or possibly maybe like this shade, but this shade didn't seem like it had a lot of color payoff, but maybe I'll put that on the eyelid first and we'll see how that looks. And then maybe I'll go in with a more intense shade just so we can see the difference. So I'm using the little sponge. Okay, yeah, I mean, I guess it's got like more pigmentation than I thought, especially using it with the sponge. So I think like these two little palettes actually pair really well together. I might just kind of use this color more as like an inner corner highlight maybe. And then I'll go in with like one of those other deeper shades on the eyelid from the Night Out palette. I'm going to use this shade now on the lid. Just getting that on the sponge. And I'm going to put that like here. And I'll keep that lighter shade just kind of in the inner corner area. Might actually flip the sponge over to that lighter shade to kind of blend. But yeah, I mean, like these shades are not super shimmery or anything. They're just kind of like just a nice, kind of like an old school shimmer, you know, where it's not too overly shimmery. I feel like I got that darker shade a little too far over. And then I want to take some of this shade and I'm just gonna pat that in between that golden yellowy color and like the purple. Just go back with the blending brush. So, I mean, I would say that like these eyeshadows are not like the worst eyeshadows that I've ever used, but they're not like amazing, you know? I mean, for like $1.25, they work pretty decent. So that's the eyes done. And I might actually take the brow pencil and kind of use this as an eyeliner. But let's just take a little bit of this and kind of darken this outer corner area. I mean, it's definitely not super intense for like an eyeliner, but it will create just like a little darker kind of shadow out here. I'm gonna actually go in with like that gold color from this palette. I want to kind of lighten up the lid, maybe that other golden shade is like almost a little too much, too goldeny. Just kind of lighten that up. Next, we're going to move on to bronzer. So I have the LA Colors Matte Bronzer. And then I also picked up the La Mercerie. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. This is the Sunlight Bronzer. I mean, the packaging on this is very thin. This would be great for traveling. It's so small. So I'm just going to get some of this on there. And we'll just use this kind of contour. And then I'll go in with the other bronzer to bronze. And actually, I just realized I had another like contouring type of stick. So maybe I can use that. Maybe I'll use that up here on the hairline so we can see how that works. But this LA Girl matte bronzer is blending out well. It actually works good as like a contour for me, like a warm contour. I also got the LA Girl Colors Contour Stick. This is in the shade Tan, I think. Yep, let's use this up here. Oh, yeah, that's definitely more warm than I would picture like a contour. And let's use this little brush here this is from an Amazon brush set. I mean, it seems like it's blending out okay. This is definitely more of like a rosy type of bronzer. I wouldn't consider that like a contour shade. That seemed like that blended out okay. So next we're gonna go in with the La Mercerie, I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, Sunlight Bronzer. Looks like this. This might be a little too orangey, so we will see. I'm just blending this with the Sigma F30. It does have a little bit of like a golden kind of sheen to it. I wouldn't say, at least for me, that this is too orangey. It's definitely more of like a warm toned bronzer. It's not terrible. I feel like maybe it has a slight bit of like scent to it, like a light floral type of scent. I would kind of consider like that sheen that it has in it similar to like the Wet n Wild Sunset Strip Tease that I just used recently in a video. Just gonna brush some of this here on the nose. Take a little bit here on the jawline and neck. I mean, yeah, that bronzer isn't awful. If you like a good warm tone, like goldeny type of bronzer. I mean, like so far, I'm actually pretty shocked with like the products. I just never think to go to the Dollar Tree to get makeup, but this actually isn't too bad. Okay, for blush, I got a couple of different blushes. So we have this here. This is the B color. I was like so confused. I was like, did I read that wrong? But yeah, this is B Pure, but this is B color. And it's from that same brand, but this is their liquid blush. This is in Party Pink, and it says long lasting and highly pigmented color. So like I said, I got this and I also got that. So we'll swatch both of these, and maybe I'll put one on one cheek and one on the other, even though it looks like the colors on these are different. So it's got like a little doe foot sort of applicator. Okay, the color on this actually is similar to like the L'Oreal in Bright Pink. Like, let's compare. B Pure or B Color is a little bit more like cool toned pink, and it also like dried down like pretty matte compared to the L'Oreal one. Let's dot this liquid blush in Party Pink. I'm gonna do a little dot of it right there. And I'm just gonna use this flat blush brush that I got from Amazon to blend this out. Okay, yeah, that's definitely really pigmented. That might have been a little bit too much product to use. Okay, it does kind of seem like it's sticking right there, like where I first applied it. So this might be the type of blush that might be better to blend out on the back of your hand. Like put it on the back of your hand and then use, dip your brush in there. Definitely tell that it's already kind of setting up, getting a little bit harder to blend out. It's definitely very pigmented. Just gonna go back with my sponge and kind of tap over that to blend it out. Okay, but like for $1.25, like that is a pretty good like blush color. So we'll see how that lasts. And then let's use this other blush. These definitely aren't gonna match, but I'm gonna just lightly, oh gosh, that might have been too much. Put some on right there, and then I'm gonna go with that same brush to blend this out. Okay, this definitely seems like it's blending out a lot easier. And honestly, like you can't really tell that big of a difference between the colors here. That is a really pretty, just like red type of blush. Both of those blushes, like I said, I feel like they blended out pretty good. They look pretty similar once you get them blended out. So I feel like you couldn't go wrong with either of those. Like I've been saying, so far, nothing has been like a dud in this. Then for highlights, this is actually a concealer. It says Conceal Correct Highlighter. It just looks like this, but I definitely would not use this as a concealer, but we're gonna use this as a liquid highlight today. So it just has like a doe foot applicator, like that. And I probably will put some of this on the back of my hand and then use it to blend. It's very highlighted there. It doesn't seem like it's got any like chunky shimmers in it, so that's good. Okay, I think I'm gonna use this flat setting powder brush, the PD5 from Profusion. And I'm gonna dot some of this concealer here on the back of my hand. And I'm gonna get some of it here on this brush. And then like, let's lightly blend that out. Okay, I feel like it is kind of wiping away the blush a little bit. I feel like it's working a little bit better with the blush over here. I mean, that one was the type of blush that kind of set up really well on the face. Like it had a nice dry down. Where this one over here is a little bit more like creamy and emollient, that blush. But the highlight definitely has like a good glow to it. Like I said, it doesn't have any chunky shimmer. So like I said, I feel like with this blush, it worked out a little bit better. So that's not a bad product either. And I did actually find a setting spray. This is also from that same brand as the bronzer. It's like this, and this is their Lasting All Day Makeup Setting Spray. So let's go ahead and mist the face with this. And like the sprayer on this is actually pretty good. And I feel like for the mascara, I don't have high hopes. I feel like with mascaras, that's like the one thing that if they're really cheap, they're usually not the best. Here is the mascara. This is the LA Colors Wowie Lash curved brush. So it looks like this. This just like looks like a classic bristle type of brush with a curved brush wand there. Okay, the formula doesn't seem like super wet, which is good. So that was like the first coat of it there. So just like, it looks a bit more natural with just like one coat. Which, I mean, I guess I take that back about cheap mascaras like not being the best. Like Essence has some really good mascaras and they're really affordable, like the mascaras. I mean, they're not $1, but okay, I mean, like this mascara is not the worst. Like it's not clumping all my lashes together. I mean, I am kind of getting some of it up here, but I wouldn't say that it's like a super messy mascara. I feel like this mascara builds well. And then I'm gonna take and put some of this here in my lower lash line. We'll see how smudgy this gets throughout the day. Okay, yeah, so I feel like that mascara isn't like the worst mascara ever. It's actually pretty decent. Okay, so I went ahead and fixed my hair and put my clothes on for today. And then we're gonna go ahead and do the lips. So I picked up a few lip products. My friend picked out this Pink Lily Be Pure Essentially Ageless Hydrating Lipstick infused with serum. This one here. And like I said, it's in the shade Pink Lily. So it's kind of like a brighter pink shade. It's actually a pretty color. I do like that. And then also with this blush, you could use it as a lipstick. It's kind of like a cheek and lip product. So it's kind of more like a red. And then I also got one of the Be Pure Clean Beauty lip jellies. This is in the shade Rose. That's what the packaging looks like there. And this says that it's formulated with vitamin E, rose, avocado, apricot, and raspberry oils. So this is what the packaging looks like. And then it's got just like a doe foot applicator. Yeah, this is more of like a warm nude shade. So we'll use just the Essentially Ageless lipstick. And this feels like pretty creamy, so I don't really feel like it's gonna be very long wearing. This is a pretty like bright coral pink. Actually feels really comfortable on the lips, like it feels really moisturizing. It feels like a typical bullet lipstick. And then I do want to kind of see what this lip jelly feels like. It doesn't feel like a sticky gloss. It just feels moisturizing. But honestly, like this kind of feels like the Tower 28 lip glosses. Like it has that same sort of feel. And honestly, I feel like the shade might be kind of similar to the shade that I have here. Yeah, and like the lip gloss and the lipstick, neither one have like a fragrance or like they don't smell like anything. So this is like the Tower 28 lip gloss in coconut. And then this is the Dollar Tree lip product. So I mean, it's got just as much pigmentation as that Tower 28. I mean, I don't know. I feel like that could be a good dupe to that product. So my first impressions of these products, I think the ones that are stand out to me that I like the best, definitely like these blush products. I liked both of these. We'll see how they wear throughout the day, but I think like color-wise, they were really pretty. They blended out nicely. So I really like these. And I think the packaging on this one is really cute with the little gold lid there. You can tell it's trying to be like Rare Beauty or something like that with the little packaging there. And then this little product just seems super cute. I'm curious to use this on the lips later today once this wears off. And then honestly, like this little brow pen kind of surprised me. So I'll have to use this a little bit more, but like initial thoughts, I really like this. The bronzers were not bad. I actually enjoyed both of these, so we'll see how those wear. And then the little finger sponge applicator, I actually really like this, and I could see myself using this, you know, besides just this video. I think it's a cute, cool little concept, and you get 2 sponges in there. So I don't know, I really liked that. The highlights, I don't know. Like, I mean, I like the way it looks on this side. That side, I just don't think it mixes well with like this blush. But I think this could also be like a good product if you like highlighters. And we'll have to see, but I think like maybe even like this lip jelly might be good. So, and like the lipstick is not bad. It's just kind of like an average bullet lipstick. So if this is like a shade that you like. The other products, like the eyeshadows, these are not terrible, but they're just kind of average. I don't really know how I feel about these. We'll just kind of have to see how they wear throughout the day. But I would just say these are kind of like basic eyeshadows, nothing spectacular. That same way, I feel the same way about the mascara. Like this wasn't the worst mascara ever, but it just seems pretty basic. This brow pencil was actually, I mean, I know I didn't really use this on my brows, but I can just tell like this is a very basic brow pencil. So nothing spectacular there. This contour stick, I think maybe it could work well if you are in the market for like a more like rosy kind of toned bronzer. So that's what it looks like there. Like if you really put it like all over, blend it out. I mean, it's not terrible. Maybe I need to use this a little bit more. It's just like not what I would consider like a contour. And then with the face products, the foundation might actually be a good foundation. We'll just have to see how it wears. Like, as you can see, like it's already gotten quite a bit more luminous like on my skin. So maybe if you're like the type of person that has really dry skin, maybe this could be a good, just like cheap, affordable foundation. The concealer also wasn't horrible. It's not super full coverage, so if you're just like one of those people that need something just like light, this might be a good like combo on days when you're just doing like a really light, kind of clean girl makeup look. I think that these two could be really great for that. So yeah, overall, I think my favorites were the bronzers and the blushes and this brow pencil. So, and I really like the sponge. But anyway, let me show you guys the time so we can come back with check-ins. So it is 9:11 a.m. So I want to come back with like a 5-hour check-in and then like a 10-hour check-in. So I will see you guys later this afternoon. But this is what all the products look like close up, so you guys can see. But like overall, I'm pretty shocked and surprised by this Dollar Tree makeup. Like, I feel like the look turned out good. Like if I was to wear this out, like I wouldn't feel like I had on cheap makeup, you know, like it looks really nice. All right, guys, I am back for the first check-in, and as you can see on my phone, it's 2:17, so it is slightly past 5 hours, and I was just checking out the makeup up close with my magnifying mirror, just seeing what everything looked like. And as you can see, the foundation has definitely gotten a lot more glowy. I know that like my ring light intensifies that and makes it look a bit more shiny than it is in real life, but it's still pretty shiny. I'll try to do maybe a clip of me in natural lighting so you can see. It seems like the concealer is starting to kind of wear off a little bit, and I don't necessarily see it settling into creases. The foundation seems like it's holding up decent, I think. Like, I don't really notice any areas of it like really rubbing off. Maybe like a little bit like on my nose. The blush and the bronzer is still holding up really well, along with that highlight. It's getting even more highlighted with how glowy the foundation is getting. And the eyeshadow is holding up well, no creasing. So far, I feel like most of the products are holding up well. It's just that the foundation is getting more dewy, which I figured it would. I want to apply the lip gloss. I'm trying to figure out where I put that. Oh, here it is. But I want to use this lip gloss on its own so we can see what it looks like. So, like, as you can see, this has got good pigmentation to it for just being like a gloss. So this is what the gloss looks like all over the lips. So very pigmented. Like I said, it's not sticky. It feels just really moisturizing, and it feels very similar to my Tower 28 lip glosses. So, and I'm gonna take this off and put on this Ion blush stick, the Lunar Zodiac one in burgundy, just because I think this is gonna be such a pretty lip color. And I'm curious to see how that one would last. And then I'm gonna try to just use this as is. It's like with this being such a large like tube here, it's kind of hard to be precise, but I might get like a lip brush to try to clean this up a little bit. But yeah, I think that's a really pretty color. I mean, I feel like this would last a little bit longer than the lipstick, but it still doesn't feel like a super long wearing product. just because it does feel like moisturizing on the lips. It doesn't feel drying, so that's really nice. All right, guys, I'm back, and it's 7:11 p.m., so it has been 10 hours since I first applied everything, and I was just taking a look at the makeup, and definitely like around my nose and mouth, the foundation has broken down, and I feel like it's still about as dewy as it was earlier. So this is definitely like a foundation that I would have wanted to touch up with powder throughout the day to like keep it a bit more matte. The concealer is looking about the same as it was earlier. Like the eyeshadow has held up pretty good. Like I think maybe the mascara has kind of transferred a little bit, or that might have just been from earlier when I got like some mascara on my eyelids. The blush has held up well, and I feel like the bronzer has held up well. So overall, all of these products today, I feel like are really good for just being $1.25. Like I am really shocked. So I'll have to continue to use a lot of these products in future videos. So, and just so I can get like a better opinion on them. But like overall, I feel like they're not that bad. And I think if you can find like your shades and like the foundation and bronzers and stuff like that, that's probably the biggest issue, is there's just not a lot of shade ranges at the Dollar Tree. But yeah, I mean, for a full face of makeup for like $20 or less, you can't really beat this. So I hope that you guys did enjoy this first impression review. If you did, give this video a thumbs up, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye-bye. Whoops.